Engaging people around a clear, cohesive goal is easier said than done. But here's the good news. You can do something about it. One of the most common challenges I meet when I work with product teams is that a lot of their work is being blocked by internal corporate politics. Too often, remarkable initiatives are blocked because we poorly communicate them or unknowingly stepped on someone's toes. In this video, I will explore a few of the reasons behind these destructive dynamics and offer a few practical suggestions for product leaders on how you can mitigate corporate dynamics. A lot of the stuff I'm going to say is discussed in Marty Coggan's excellent book, Inspired. If you are a product leader, then this is an absolute must-read for you. Many of the challenges should be dealt with on the company management level, but I will focus here on what product leaders can do, given a specific company structure and culture. Misunderstanding the different roles and responsibilities. Product organizations can be pretty complex. There are many stakeholders involved, and many of the titles are confusing or overlapping. Sometimes this is due to legacy or rapid growth processes. The company has evolved, which is usually a good thing, but the structure that made sense at an earlier stage don't work anymore. We hired new team members and we are expanding the product scope, creating more product teams and more internal services. To mitigate these challenges, you can first understand the different roles and titles. An excellent reference for this can be found in Marty Coggan's book, Inspired, where he outlined the different roles in the product team, starting from the head of product, the product managers, and down to the supporting teams. Make sure your role and title align with your manager's expectations of you. Sometimes it's a good idea to have this written down, so you are 100% sure. Align expectations with your team members. When a new team member joins my team, I do with them a 10 minutes alignment workshop. Each of us spends 5 minutes writing the new team member's primary responsibilities, each responsibility on a separate sticky. Then we compare the notes, eliminate duplication, and fine-tune the wording. Finally, we prioritize. This simple exercise will shock you when you realize how different you and your team members understand what you expect of them. Conflicting goals. Sometimes different product teams are working on other aspects of the product. There are various ways you can divide the product teams and responsibilities. And on top of that, product priorities can be in conflict with other company goals. A typical example would be a commitment the company made on the roadmap for a specific feature. That commitment may be an excellent thing for the sales team closing a sale, but this could mean delays in the product roadmap for the product team. So, what can be done? First, understand the big picture. A product manager cannot work in a silo. She should be well informed on what's going on in the company and why. The sales team may be under much pressure to deliver and meet their sales quota. If you understand the big picture, you may be able to create a mitigation strategy. Understand the trade-offs. Once you understand the challenge, you need to assess the impact this kind of constraint had on your plans. Then, design a mitigation plan that will minimize the impact on your outcome. Many roadmaps focus on what should be delivered and when. These roadmaps are usually based on outputs and are typically bound to fail once met with the product, users, and business reality. In Inspired, Marty Coggan talks about outcome-based roadmaps. Outcome-based roadmaps outline what we want to achieve and deal with most of the what and when during our agile implementation, constantly assessing our performance based on our defined outcome. If we have been able to do that, we can start thinking about the impact of the new input and devise a plan to minimize or even leverage our planned outcome. Communicate the impact together with a suggested course of action. Teams often communicate the challenges, raising flag that they will not meet the goals because of unexpected obstacles. Raising flags is a bad idea and will probably portray you as a complainer instead of a problem solver. My suggestion is to always communicate the emerging negative impact followed by a recommended solution. Misalignment. How many times have you realized that you thought everybody agrees on an issue and move forward to find out that every team member understood the decisions her way? How many times you move forward with a project, spend time and resources, only to realize that this is not what your manager intended when she assigned you the task? How many times were you on the side of that manager giving assignments you were sure are understood but were carried out in a very disappointing manner just because they were not understood. Alignment is the art of making two or more people understand an issue and as a result carry out an effective action. Alignment enables us to confidently move forward and report back when we complete the task. I can tell you as a CEO, this is one of my most significant pain points, and I deal with this challenge daily. Here are a few ideas I found tremendously helpful. A, write it down in real time. When I run discussions, I try to create a visible, accessible summary of my understandings as the conversation or workshop unfolds. Whenever somebody makes a point and all seems to agree, I write it on the board, typically with a sticky note. When doing remote discussions, I use Miro-board to create the documentation and ask all participants to collaborate. In many cases, I stop the conversation, reflect on a note I've taken, and make sure everybody agrees on what I wrote, the way I wrote it. As a result, everybody listens and focuses and are also more accountable for what they are saying. It's a very different experience to hear yourself speak than to see what you said written. It aligns with everybody and also engages them more. It also makes sure that if somebody missed something or misheard, they can quickly re-engage. Document the process, not only the outcomes. In most cases, we only document the final decisions and the tasks assigned. The result is that we cannot review our decision process and understand why we made the decisions. The practice of documenting the process can appear to be a waste of energy, but this will eventually save us time and helps us better align as we create. And best of all, when we report on our decisions, we can share with our managers the process that we went through and better explain the rationale behind our choices. One of the most effective ways to document the process is to record user testing videos and then capture specific insights by editing the videos or just quoting them and showing their picture. Capturing and sharing user testing will add credibility to your presentation and be a highly effective tool for convincing stakeholders. Try it out and let me know how it went. Replace open discussions with structured workshops. Me and my partner Orit used to argue about almost everything. We love each other, but instinctively, we take the devil advocator's role in nearly any discussion. Frankly, we're usually okay about it. It keeps us alert, and even if the debate heats up, we're happy with the practice as it sharpens our brain. However, as we picked a moment to look around, we usually noticed that we lost the team and realized most of them were not contributing to the discussion. When we started working with design sprints, we quickly understood that meeting experience could be much better for everybody, including us. Inspired by the structured nature of the sprint, we moved most of our team meetings into structured workshops. Almost overnight, our productivity skyrocketed, and the overall experience significantly improved. Gradually, we constructed workshops for many parts of our workflows, including product ideation, process configuration, creative marketing, and more. We still love to pick a fight with each other, but not during work time. We have enough subjects to debate. If you are tired from these endless futile discussions, you may want to check our decision-making workshop video. I will put a link in the show notes. Conflicting personal motivations. This is probably the most challenging problem to solve. Different people in the organization have different personal aspirations. Their ambition is usually not clean from career consideration or ego. Wanting to advance, get credit, recognition, and be rewarded are all natural human traits. Dismissing them as not relevant is a colossal mistake that quickly backfires at you. Dismantling these minds is an art that requires patience, EQ, and most careful attention. I always try to listen more than I talk. Not an easy task for me. While listening, I try to understand the underlying needs of my counterpart. In many cases, personal goals are hiding behind a business or a product goal. I try to map these goals as the conversation goes and take notes. A good question may be, how will success look like? Followed up with a few why questions. As I mentioned, this is an art, but it plays a massive part in a product manager's success. To sum it up, great products are done by great teams and are led by great product leaders. Great products don't just happen. A coordinated effort of a multidisciplinary team intentionally creates them. Great product managers understand that it's not enough to solve the product challenges. You have to manage the organizational politics and navigate through different stakeholders to give your product a chance. I would love to hear more about your challenges and how you overcome internal politics on your way to success. If you liked this video, please subscribe to our channel and get more insights about product, innovation, and design. And I'll see you next week.